Hey, students, we'll get off of that crazy page and go to this one. This is our proficiency table for our computer aided manufacturing, or CAM, programming standards. So if we look up top here, we've got some learning targets. These are things we want you to be able to do. You can feel free to pause the video and read those if you want. And then down below here, pretty much the same thing broken down as to what you need to do to get to a level 3, which is where I'm hoping everybody in class will be. So if we take a look here, it says students can use the 3D modeling software to create and or modify a solid object that satisfies a set of design criteria. Right? You did that in the last video. You modeled up a cribbage board. You definitely probably went back and edited or had to modify at some point to get those holes in the right location. So if you finished video 1, congratulations, you have created a 3D model, and you can check that first box off. This video, we're going to focus on the next 3 boxes. You are going to use the software to set up a solid model in the programming environment. You're going to create a toolpath needed to efficiently produce the desired finished product, and you're going to simulate that toolpath using the CAM software. That final step where you post-process the toolpath, that will come in a future video. So we're going to work on these middle 3 here today. You'll be 4/5 of the way towards meeting this standard when we're done. All right. Fusion took a long time to open in that last video, so I've already got my Fusion open. You can see when it opens up, it just goes to a blank or untitled document. All right. So if you need to find your cribbage board, you're going to click on that tic-tac-toe board. And one more time, because I did that kind of quick, you're going to go to Show Data panel, or the tic-tac-toe board. And if you click on Recent Data, because you're probably going to be at your home page, and again, it might look something like this, probably a few less projects going than I've got. And then you click on Recent Data. It will open up, I don't know how many projects here, if it's a set amount of time, but it'll open up your most recent projects. And more than likely, the top 1 or the top 2 are going to be somewhere where you need to look to find that cribbage board model. So I'm going to go ahead and open mine up. All right. So here's the thing that we created in the last video. We did that in this design environment. And there's actually a bunch of environments in Fusion. We're going to go down to the manufacture environment now. So we're switching from design to manufacture mode. When we get into manufacture mode, the first one we're going to do is we're going to do our setup. This is one of those 3 standards I said we'd hit, or one of those 3 indicators I said we'd hit in this video. So let's click on setup. Right now, right here where the X, Y, and Z lines are crossing, that's the starting point. And we actually want that to be the lower left-hand corner right on the top of our project. And so we're going to come over here where it says origin, and we're going to change the origin to a selected point. Or actually, we're going to change it to your model origin. And we'll try selected point. Now, if it doesn't go to this upper portion of your lower left-hand corner, the top of your project, lower left-hand corner, maybe that's a better way of saying it. If it doesn't go to this corner, then you could come over here and you could pick your origin as a selected point, right? And you could click on this corner. And if you try both of those and things aren't working, come find an instructor and we can probably help you out with that. Right, so now we're going to click on OK. And we have finished one of those 3. We have set our project up in this modeling environment. The next thing we're going to do is create our toolpath. So under 2D, we are going to find, actually, we're not going to use the 2D path here. All right, we're going to go to drilling. All right, so we're going to come over here and we're going to go to drill. And then we're going to go to this menu here, lets us select things. So first thing we're going to do is select our tool by going here to select. And you've heard me say this a few times. My library is going to look a little different than yours because I've been in here before. So what I'd like you to do is expand your Fusion library. And then you're going to come down here where it says hole making tools. And we want to pick an inch hole making tool. But your library is not going to look like this. It won't populate with a bunch of tools. I'm going to click on a different one. Right? Yours probably looks like this when you go to hole making. So what you're going to do on the hole making menu is you're going to turn your library on, and it'll give you that list of tools that I was looking at. Right now, if you remember the first video, we were going to drill a hole, all right, that was 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to come over here and under type, I'm going to select drill, all right, and then I can either scroll down, right, or we could search, but we're going to scroll down and we're going to find the 1/8 inch drill bit. Right? So here's all these numbered sizes. And right here between number 31 and 30 is our 1/8 inch drill bit. So that's the one that we want to select. I'm going to hide this. So we're going to click on select. And then we're going to switch our plunge feed rate. We're going to change this to 50 inches per minute. We're going to go a little faster because we're going into that wood versus metal, which is what our machine defaults for. Okay. And then again, because we're drilling into wood, not using a mill, we're going to go in here and we're going to disable the coolant. If you forget to do that, it's not the end of the world. That's just going to make your code a little bit longer for our particular machine. All right. And so we're done on this tool pad. We're going to go to the next tab, which is geometry. Right? And for our selection mode, we're going to say select faces. Right? We want to select the face of our hole. We're going to just pick one of the holes on here. And then underneath here, we're going to use this select same diameter. And it's going to pick all of the same holes for us. So you'll know they're selected when they show up in blue like it does on my screen now. All right, we're going to go next to the cycle tab. And we want to make sure we're set for a drilling rapid out. And then we're going to go to linking, and we're going to make sure that it looks like my menu does here, where our safe distance is set to 0.08, and we've ignored our gouges. Right? Now, if we've got all those things done, we can click OK, and we are in the process of creating a tool path. So you can see my wheels over here spun for a minute. Now I've got a tool path here. So this object on my screen, this represents the drill bit. You can kind of see the tool holder up above here, that little bit of blue. Right, the yellow line is where it's going to travel from hole to hole. And the blue line is where it's going to do its drilling. Right, so as I look here, I can see that the whole thing is selected. It looks like it's hitting all the holes. I think that's good. We're going to do the final step on that proficiency table. We're going to simulate this now. So I'm going to go into simulate. Right, now, again, my menu may look a little bit different. I always do this with stock checked. So I'd like you to check stock as well. Make sure you got your tool and tool path turned on. And then we can come down here and hit the play button. And mine's going a little faster than yours is. You can drag this little progress bar backwards and forwards to see what's happening. All right, and there it is as it's finishing up its last hole. All right, so I'm going to pause it there. So again, this looks good. I can see, because I've got the stock turned on, what my box was going to look like, or my block when I put it in there, and what it'll look like when it comes out. I've got all the holes picked. I'm happy with that. Right. If you're curious, you can go up to the info tab. It'll give you some information on like how fast the spindle is spinning, how fast the thing is moving in inches per minute. And if you go to stats, it'll give you a machine time rundown. So this says in real life, and I find this hard to believe, but it says it will drill all these holes for us in 1 minute and 1 second. Right. So we'll test that out in the shop and see if it really goes that fast. But that is our simulation. So if we like what we've got, we can exit it. Right now, for some reason, it's not picking these holes and it's not doing this drilling. You can always go back and you can rework that drilling tool, right? By right-clicking over here, going to edit, and it'll reopen that menu. So if you missed a hole, or it's not drilling in, or your time was way off, you might compare your feed rate to my feed rate, different things like that. Right. So that's those middle 3 steps on our proficiency table. We are just about ready to take this thing out into the shop and load it up on the router once you've got some material and start doing some drilling. So there you have it. Good luck with this step, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.